Here we have verse 39 of the 9th chapter of the Gospel of John, wrapping up a extended conversation that all was triggered when Jesus healed a man who had been born blind. The man withstood a interrogation at the hands of the religious leaders, but then he met the true religious leader, the one that actually had the insights that stood behind the great signs that were taking place. And of course, as a result of that, as we've seen, he came to worship Christ, recognizing him as the Son of Man and bowing the knee to him, so that not only were the eyes of his body, but the eyes of his soul were enlightened as well. And that really becomes the backdrop for the verse that we have before us here, as Jesus continues in the conversation saying to this man, and more or less saying to everybody who was there hearing it, and certainly for our benefit as well, Kai, the connective, and apen from lego, second aorist, third person singular, aorist active indicative, he said, and then the subject of the verb, ho Jesus, so Jesus said. Ace, preposition, takes the accusative, ace crema, the word for judgment, but it means really judgment more in the sense of into a decision, as it were, a verdict. There is a word krisis, which means judgment. We get the word crisis from that. This more has to do with the process of rendering a judgment, reaching a judgment, and it's critical in this context that that's understood. Into the decision, you might say. Ego, this is the first person pronoun, and it's present to make it emphatic. So into judgment, I. Ace, preposition, once again, same as here, takes the accusative. Tone, the accusative masculine article, into the kosmon, into the world, the cosmos here, and then teuton, which is to say it's into this world. A little bit more of a narrow idea is associated here. So Jesus said, for decision making, I into this world, aelthon from erchomai, second aorist, first person singular, aorist active indicative of erchomai, I come. So for the purpose of dividing or making a decision or distinguishing, you might say, I into this world have come. And then we have hina, which will take the subjunctive. We find the subjunctive here and also here, in order that the, here is the masculine plural nominative article, in order that the not seeing ones, here's a participle, it's the masculine plural nominative active participle, in order that the not seeing ones, and then here is the subjunctive may see, which goes with hina. So in order that the not seeing ones may see, and then kind of in a corollary to that, the then blepontes, same here but not negated, and the seeing ones, tephloi, the plural of the noun tephlos, which means blind man, in order that the seeing ones, blind man, and then genontai. From genomai, I become. This is the third person plural, aorist active subjunctive. It's passive in form, active in meaning. So there is a kind of brutal irony in this verse that Jesus came into the world to divide people who were not able to see physically and actually give them sight spiritually, as was certainly the case with this man, and at the same time, poignantly, those who thought they were seeing, these religious leaders who thought they had such a clear bead on the reality of things, were actually confirming by their repudiation of Christ their own blindness.